What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last Thursday and last Saturday, I watched Star Wars. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, the 7th installment in the epic Star Wars saga created by George Lucas. Now, we as the fans have been waiting for a very, very long time for this film. It is my most highly anticipated film of 2015, and I gotta tell you, the hype is real. The last time we saw a Star Wars film was 10 years ago in 2005 with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. But with The Force Awakens being Episode 7, it follows up after Episode 6, which is Return of the Jedi. Now, in the storyline, there's a 30-year gap between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, but in real time, well, Return of the Jedi came out in 1983. That's 32 years. So the fans have been waiting for 32 years to find out what is the next story after Return of the Jedi. And the big question is the wait worth it? Well, hell yes it is. Star Wars The Force Awakens was awesome, absolutely exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to watch it again. So with this review, it'll be completely 100% spoiler free. I'm not going to get into any spoilerific details, no specific stuff. I'm not going to get into that. The next video, I'll do a spoiler-filled talk-back review. But for this video, it is safe to watch if you've never seen the movie. Alright, so let's just start off by talking about the story. What can I say? It is good versus evil. I don't want to give anything away. It is no longer the rebellion versus the Empire. It is the resistance versus the First Order, which is essentially a souped up version of the Empire minus Darth Vader. Alright? And we get to learn about these new characters. Finn, Rey, Poe Dameron. And then we also have the old classic characters. And the way the story plays out is a great way to really introduce these new characters with the old characters. It really, really works. The story is written by J.J. Abrams, co-written by Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and they actually reworked an original script by Michael Arndt, who wrote Toy Story 3. And what they've put together is something that is a good combination of the story elements that we love about the original trilogy, as well as having a whole bunch of new story elements for this new generation. And I find that it really, really works. I think some people might not agree with it just because, well, they want to see a 100% new story, but we saw how that works with the prequels. All right, so I'm glad that there was a lot of story elements that were, I would say, borrowed from the original trilogy. I like that. I think seeing that familiarness was something that worked. And it was like it was a great way to really ease into this new story, all right, which is about these new characters. And speaking of which, let's talk about the characters. So we got Finn, who is a stormtrooper who questions his purpose. Now, stormtroopers in the original trilogy, they're really faceless, nameless, weak soldiers, okay? But in Star Wars The Force Awakens, the stormtroopers are very, very different, okay? So we have Finn, who's a stormtrooper, questions his existence, but he's a very strong character. And when I say strong, I don't mean strong physically, but he's got a strong heart. He's got strong willpower. He questions his existence, or rather his purpose, and he cares about doing the right thing. Is what he's doing right now for the First Order, is it the right thing? You know what? Maybe not, and he wants to do something about it. And that kind of determination is what really makes him strong, okay? Now then there's Rey, who lives on the planet of Jakku, and she's been living there for a long time. It is her home, but she has a constant day-to-day struggle. She looks for parts from spaceships, and she turns them in so that she can get food rations out of it. And basically that is her regular struggle. But she's waiting. She's waiting for something. She doesn't know if it'll ever happen, but she is waiting, and it's kind of like A New Hope. Luke Skywalker's waiting. He's waiting for something, but things happen, and eventually it brings these characters together. All right, and then there's Poe Dameron, who I really don't have to say a whole lot about, but he is the most badass character in this film. He's played by Oscar Isaac, who's a great actor already, and also with Poe Dameron, he is the best X-Wing pilot in the Resistance, which is, that is awesome in itself. I mean, they had to label him like that, the best X-Wing pilot in the Resistance. So that in itself is awesome, okay? And then there's BB-8, who's the new droid. And I gotta say that BB-8, I instantly fell in love with BB-8. I was thinking that, you know what, I love R2-D2, I love C-3PO, I have a huge connection with them, but BB-8 is a character that once you see him, or her, I don't know what it is, you instantly fall in love because of the way BB-8 is played, like from the sounds, the sounds she makes. I'm gonna say she, okay? From the sounds she makes, from the physical interactions, and the fact that she's a BB droid, which is the ball droid. All right, that in itself makes her really, really lovable. So J.J. Abrams and the writing team, they did a great job in really just introducing these great characters. They're very, very well written, and he does a good job with blending these old characters with the new characters. And speaking of the old characters, I gotta tell you something, alright? It is so great to see them back. It gave me goosebumps. It is like they never left, okay? The interactions between Han and Leia gave me goosebumps. It's like they haven't seen each other for a long time, but they're yet so familiar with each other. Their mannerisms, their interaction, their chemistry, it never changed, alright? And then seeing Han and Chewbacca, it's just a wonderful thing. You just can't help but feel that, okay, we're back. Star Wars is so back, all right? So it's great to see the old characters. It's great to see the new characters. I learned to really care about them. I learned to love them. And I'm excited to see where they go in the next couple of episodes. Now, I almost forgot about talking about Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is the new villain, the new big bad villain. Of course, there was, Darth Maul and Count Dooku and Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, and then, Darth Vader. Now we have Kylo Ren, and I gotta say that Kylo Ren is a great new successor to Darth Vader, all right? He's definitely a scary villain, all right? Darth Vader is super, super scary. But what I like about Kylo Ren is that not only is he scary, but he's pretty calm. He's calm, he's cool, he looks cool, but he, just like our protagonist, he has his own personal struggle, and that struggle gives his character a lot of depth. I really want to know more about his character. He's not just a badass in a mask. He's a lot more there's a lot more to his character, and I gotta say that I completely welcome this new generation of Star Wars actors into the Star Wars saga, because they did a great job and they're going to continue doing a great job, and I can't wait to see where the story takes them. Alright, so that's the characters. I love the characters. They did a great job with that. Now let's move on to talking about the acting. Alright, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Poe Dameron, Adam Driver, and of course the classic actors from the original trilogy. I don't really need to say much about the actors from the original trilogy, because they nailed all their parts, okay? Even though 32 years have passed, they came back to their roles like they never left. So that was awesome, okay? As for the new actors, I gotta say that I was a little bit skeptical at first. Before I even saw the movie, I was skeptical. And I was cautiously optimistic, mainly because, well, we saw what happened with Phantom Menace under George Lucas's direction. We saw what happened to the prequels. I mean, Hayden Christensen, Jake Lloyd, Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor. I think that, they could have done a lot better job had they had better direction. But Hayden Christensen did a poor job, all right? So I was a little bit worried with new actors. But J.J. Abrams, being the great director that he is, he told them that you guys are in Star Wars. You guys got to bring your A game. And they did. Every single one of those characters, 100% believable. I love their characters. I love their acting. They played it well. There was humor in it, which is, a challenge within itself. But I believe that Daisy Ridley played a strong character. She did a really good job. I felt her struggle. I felt Finn's personal struggle. I felt that, he was in fear. He was in shock. He was in all kinds of situations that I was hoping that he would get out of, and safely, all right? And Poe Dameron, I just couldn't wait to see him back onto the screen doing what he does best as an X-Wing pilot. So all of these characters did a great job with their performances, completely nailed it. All right? Now, let's talk about the direction. J.J. Abrams as the director. I think it was the best choice. It was the only choice, and it was the perfect choice. I mean, he told himself that I need to bring Star Wars back. Star Wars needs to come back from the prequels and go back to the way we love the originals. And what did we love about the originals? Well, there's a lot of elements that we love about the originals. Well, why don't we take some of those elements into this so that the fans will feel familiar with it, and then at the same time we will introduce a bunch of new elements, surprising elements that that will really stir up the fans' emotions, and by emotions I mean like emotions of like or yes, or laughter, or shock and anger, things like that. We're gonna bring J.J. Abrams decided that he wanted to bring all those wonderful things back to Star Wars, and he does such a great job with it. And as for direction, the first thing that I noticed about his direction was that he definitely added a lot more humor. In fact, this is probably the funniest Star Wars film. Out of all the 6 films before, this is the funniest one. And it's a lot of it has to do with the dialogue, all right? And BB-8, of course, provides a lot of comic relief. Finn's character is also quite funny. And Poe Dameron actually is really the character that really sets the tone for the film after what he does in the beginning of the film. So the direction is perfect. I love where he took it. And that is making it feel like the classic original trilogy, while bringing in, or rather introducing, a lot of new elements that we as the fans, we as the audience, we just love it. All right. Well, I love it. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely love it. And the majority of, from what I gather, is that a lot of what he did for the film worked. Okay, so the direction is perfect. Now let's talk about the real deal, the action, the stuff that gets us very excited. The action is very exciting. It is very innovative. It is it brings back a lot of things that we love about Star Wars, like blaster battles, X-Wing and TIE fighter battles, lightsaber duels. All that is there, but he just takes it up to the next level. There's things that we love about the original trilogy that we missed in the prequels. We didn't get that kind of I guess that kind of love for the action in the prequels. But so what J.J. Abrams does is that once again he takes a lot of the action that we love about the original trilogy, and he makes his own version of that. All right, he twists and turns it around in a way where it feels fresh. For example, the X-Wing and TIE fighter battles, the way it was filmed, the cinematography just feels very fresh. It feels exciting. The lightsaber duels, very different from what we're used to. It feels aggressive. It feels messy. It feels like there's more emotion into it. And the way the characters swing their lightsabers is an extension of their personalities. It's so evident and it's so clear when we watch the way they fight with their lightsabers. So very cool the way he did that. And there's just so many things that he brings into the action that we've never seen before. You would think that every blaster rifle that we see is pretty much more or less the same thing that we've seen before. It's not. It is a blaster battle combined with a bunch of things that we've never ever seen. All right, so I don't know what else to say. I don't know what more to say about this film. It's all positive things. This is a very action-packed, funny, exciting Star Wars film, and it's got a lot of depth to it. It's got a lot of substance. The story develops. The characters are full of background and history and mystery that we just want to know more. We want to know what happens next, and that's what J.J. Abrams did so perfectly. He wanted the fans to want more. And at the end of all of this, we want more. We want to see the next installment as soon as possible because we want to know where the story takes them. It's an adventure that is continuing, and he did a great job. Anyways, I can't say any more stuff. I will say more stuff in my spoiler-filled talkback video, which is coming up next. But I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10. 9.75 out of 10. A near-perfect film. Empire Strikes Back is a 10 out of 10. That's in first place for Star Wars films. Second place is Force Awakens with 9.75. Followed by A New Hope. Alright? Now you're probably wondering, it's 9.75, so where did that 0.25 go? I gotta say that I think that there could be a slight improvement with the final battle. That's all I gotta say. All right, the final battle could use a tiny improvement, but other than that, loved it. The first time was awesome. The second time was even better, and I can't wait to watch it again. Anyways, that's all I have to say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Performance to be great or outstanding in any way. Now, the only two characters I found that were good were Liam Neeson, played by Qui-Gon Jinn, and Yoda.